Now, fans are growing more concerned about Disney's new Snow White remake, mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard her bag the classic story before, but there's more. There's always more. Let's have a listen.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
This is starting to sound nothing like Snow White. They've just got a character named Snow White, but the story seems to be entirely different. Joining me now to discuss Disney seemingly destroying another classic is Turning Point USA contributor Erin Elmore. Erin, we've heard these comments from the actress playing Snow White, who seems to have contempt for the original story and character.
Well, it seems as there's no appreciation for the Magic Kingdom and the original magic of Disney. You know, they're celebrating their 100th year of movie making. And instead of this woman talking about that and saying she's so proud to give her play on Snow White, she's trashing the original version, not paying any homage to history, and basically making it woke. And we all know how that goes. We've just seen several Disney movies. One, Stranger World in 2022 lost $147 million, and Elemental, their worst box office opening in 28 years.
Wow. And I just don't understand, if they do want to have these woke themes and modern stories as they see them, then write a new one. Why take a classic and basically trash it where it doesn't resemble anything to what people want to see? I mean, that's why you go along to see Snow White, presumably. Moving along now, let's talk about the president. We all remember he went to the polls on a platform of empathy. Let's have a listen.
My mom had an expression. She said, "Joey, you're defined by your courage and redeemed by your loyalty." It really is about reaching out. We just have to reach out a little more for people, man.
He was going to restore decency and empathy into the White House, Erin, but there's no sign of that. Over and over again, we see examples, and the recent wildfires in Hawaii that have claimed 90 lives at least, again, the president has been found wanting. He seems to have this never-ending beach break. Reporters were camped out there for hours. Finally, they got to ask him about those devastating fires, and this was his response.
Talk about the Hawaii response, Mr. President?
Erin, you would think he would have something to say, some words of comfort, some indication if the feds are going to do anything to that you would expect from a leader at a moment like this, where a state has been utterly devastated.
This is not decency. This is not dignity. This is a man that completely has lost touch with reality. He could have said so many things. We are praying for the families and we will get them help right away. But unfortunately, this is what we're seeing with Joe Biden in America. Every turn and every time something happens. Look at East Palestine, Ohio. He did nothing and never visited there either. And that was a terrible tragedy for those people. And what about our Afghanistan withdrawal? So many Gold Star moms were sitting in Washington, D.C. talking about their young men and women who were lost because of how callously Joe Biden and his administration had handled that withdrawal. Our open border with fentanyl pouring in, he seems not to care and just sits on the beach in Delaware. We have so many problems in this country, whether it's also sex trafficking because of the border and just inflation, and he simply has no words except for no comment. This is not a leader. This is not decency. This is not the air quotes adults are back in the room. This is someone who certainly seems intent on destroying this great nation.